Hey guys, my name's Solomon and I'm the host of the new show, Info from Solo, where we will basically be talking about international and national politics and kind of just giving my own opinion about it and also giving the facts of the news, of course. In our first episode today, I'll be mostly talking about the Roe v. Wade draft opinion leak. Then I'll kind of go over what happens if it is overturned, and then I'll go ahead and give counter arguments to the pro-abortion propaganda. So, first let's get started to what happened on Monday. On Monday, May 3rd, there was a leak of the Supreme Court draft opinion that would potentially overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, if you don't know what Roe v. Wade is, it is a Supreme Court case that took place in 1973 where people argue that under the 14th Amendment that they had the constitutional right to an abortion, which is obviously false. Nowhere does it say that or even hint that. So, the way they passed this was the wording. They stated that patient-doctor privacy rights protected them in medical procedures. This is true if you're getting like a CT scan or MRI. But when the action is killing a baby, then it shouldn't be protected that at all. It was a horrible argument then, and it is still a horrible argument now. Since then, there has been massive outrage from the left side of the political party. You see protests at the Supreme Court and countless marches and protests around the country. So let's first get into what if it is overturned. So there's this huge misconception, which is that if it is overturned, abortions are going to be illegal in every single state, and there's going to be the death penalty given to everybody that even thinks about having an abortion, which is obviously fake. Overturning this would just give power back to the states and let each state be able to decide what they want to do with that law. It doesn't make it a federal law that you can't have abortions. So places like Texas, Oklahoma, and Wyoming will completely ban abortions because they have trigger laws that if this is overturned, that will take in effect immediately. Then you have places like California and New York where you could basically have an abortion till the baby's 1 year old. I'm kidding, of course. That's not true. I mean, they are passing a bill called the infanticide bill, where they allow a baby dying from the first 7 days after birth, where they're able to they'll just basically decriminalize it. I'm not going to get into that today. Maybe that'll be for next week. So the next thing we're going to talk about is that if you don't like the abortion laws in your state, then you'll be able to go to another state. So if you're religious and you don't think your taxpayer money should be going towards Planned Parenthoods, where they're killing over 1 million babies a year, then you can move to a place like Texas, Oklahoma, or Wyoming, where they ban it completely. But then if you feel like you should have the right to kill another human being, which is absurd, of course, then you can move to places like California and New York. This is just giving more power to the state, which is what the Founding Fathers wanted. Now we'll talk about my stance on abortion and the arguments on it. So my stance is that you shouldn't be able to kill another human life because it's a slight inconvenience. So a lot of people like to first bring up, should we even call it a baby or not? Like, does it have life? Which is obvious because it's its own human being. It has its own cells. It has its own DNA. It has its own everything. So the point of where I draw, what is life and what is not life, is conception. At conception, a sperm fertilizes the egg, which makes a whole new human being with half of the DNA from the mother and the father. This is where life begins, because when two becomes one, from there, the child has the basic blueprint on how it's going to develop. The color of their eyes, their height, and their hair. And this is when it becomes a unique life. Anytime past that could be applied to fully developed human beings. The honest pro-abortion activists will just simply state that it is a life, but the baby's life doesn't outweigh the mother's interest, which is just horrible, of course. The next thing I see a lot is, I believe it's no uterus, no opinion, something like that. Doesn't really make any sense due to the fact that Roe v. Wade was determined by mostly men. So if that's true, then we should just overturn Roe v. Wade now, shouldn't we? But no, they only say what they really mean is white cis males, because I don't really know where I was gonna go with that one. But let's see. We could skip that part out. Go that part. What else did I say? So, pro-abortion talking points. Okay, so you want to know another one? Is the if you don't like abortion, then have a vasectomy. I think that is completely absurd because if you want to stop, unwanted pregnancies, then you should probably not have sex. That's one of the most dumbest ones I've seen. Be honest, don't really know what to talk. I came unprepared a little bit, so we're just gonna close this one out, guys. Thank you guys for the episode. We're gonna be getting back into it next Saturday with maybe a little bit more content. I'm still trying to learn how to talk and present. Probably taken this about 50 times now. It's quite embarrassing. I'm just talking inside my living room at 11 o'clock at night. I'm tired, so we're just gonna go ahead and wrap this up right now. Next week I'll hopefully have a little bit better production and also a little bit more content to give you guys. But just wanted to touch over a few crazy things that's been happening this week. Alright, see you guys later, and go subscribe to Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, let's see who else, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, of course. If you're kind of bored, Brett Cooper's a good one. That's kind of like who I all kind of listen to for news. I don't really go mainstream media just due to the fact where both sides take very radical positions. But this was pretty fun for the first time. But thank you guys, I'm glad all 5 of you guys stuck to the end of this, and hopefully we could grow. So thank you guys, have a good one.